TV.
What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. So let's get to this, man. So last week we saw the release of some ridiculous all-time historical lists from the increasingly irrelevant and increasingly non-credible Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report was once a respected site that you could expect to see some fare. There'll be some things you won't agree with here or there, obviously. But when I first used to watch Bleacher Report back in the 2010, 11 time frame, it was fair, and you had people on there that worked there that appeared to have some historical knowledge. That's not the case anymore. Even if they have historical knowledge, they're clearly pushing an agenda, and they clearly work with Clutch. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no dispute about it. They had LeBron as the 7th greatest dunker of all time, even though this motherfucker's been afraid to participate in a dunk contest because he would have nobody to point the finger at as far as blame's concerned. This is a guy that's considered, according to them, the 36th greatest shooter of all time. This is a man that has seasons shooting under 70% from the foul line, never shot 80% from the foul line. Only have, I think, one season shooting 40% from three. And just last year, he shot 32% from downtown in an era where it's so much easier to shoot from three-point range because of the spacing and the offensive rules. And the guy that shoots just 37% from the field outside 3 feet from the rim. But perhaps the most egregious coronation that they gave him is naming him the 22nd greatest defender of all time. A full 20 spots ahead of Kobe Bryant, 9 times first defense. Just 7 spots under Michael Jordan, 9 times first defense. 9 times all-time first defense. And ahead of guys, historically great defensive players like Sidney Moncrief, Dennis Johnson, Bobby Jones, and even a guy like Tony Allen. Ridiculous. And Tony Allen, isn't in awe of LeBron. As I have pictured here, he was on those Boston Celtics teams that made LeBron rage quit and go to Miami. And then Tony Allen was later on, I think, in the apex of his career on those Memphis Grizzlies teams that were pretty damn good in the early 2000 teens. And Tony Allen has been speaking out about these bullshit-ass positions that Bleacher Report and that sports has been pushing on LeBron. He said, yeah, LeBron's a great scorer, 40,000 points and everything, but defense was not his number one bag. Matter of fact, he was never considered one of the team's best defenders. Never. It's all revision history propaganda. He spoke out about this on the bootleg version of Nightcap. Shannon Sharp and Ocho weren't there. But he brought up a very interesting point that I want to elaborate on. And that he was saying that not only are they lying about LeBron's defensive prowess, but this could also be sour grapes pertaining to Memphis in general if you look deeper into this whole situation.
Right. I thought that once they got that low into the list, I'm like, damn, where I'm at? Number 50 or something? That's how I'm thinking in my mind.
Yeah.
And so then Braun came up. And I'm like, hold on, bro. That man got 40,000 points. Then look, about 2 weeks ago, he go on the air. He been shooting at Memphis for a long time. I ain't gonna lie. Let's bring the whole elephant out.
Call it what it is.
He been shooting at Memphis the whole time.
Right.
As far as players that come in town, You ain't really trying to kick it in Memphis. Cool, you might want to go get something to eat, but you got to get your sleep and get ready for the ground house. You feel me? That's how it was back in the day. I remember.
Oh, yeah.
It just ain't that. So now you going to kill our city on the golf course. Hold on. Hold on. Not only that, you gonna come at my brother and say his award should have been yours? No, I got to say something now. Because the list right here in front of my face is on point now. Because I could have said something when I saw his podcast. So I took it in the run. I said, hold on. Let's be clear. We both on the same amount of teams. Every team he made, I made.
Yeah.
So you ain't talking to no local joker now.
Right.
So I just felt like, all right, with my job every day, what I got to do, man, to come to this court, man, if I don't come here and make it difficult for the opponent score, they going to be looking at TA like, what's your value?
Right.
So my value in that era of basketball was at the point was don't let them get their average, TA.
Now, we all know what LeBron said about the city of Memphis and, talking about how they hotels suck. The infrastructure of Memphis sucks. Or at least it's not to his liking. He compared it disfavorably to Nashville and even said the team need to be taken away from Memphis and given to Nashville, right? And he says this while he's with his white, probably Republican buddies, right? Although this is a guy that professes to be the face of the Democratic Party. Just want to point that out to people. I just want to point that out to you. This is a guy that will, some people within the party wants to run for a national office because of name recognition and that he's a Zion Williamson puppet. And I'm using that name for code. But as the elitist that he is, he's not hanging with our black asses. He's hanging with people who are more, he feel, his people, right? Just saying. But yeah, this thing, there's legs to this Memphis thing. Now, Tony Allen, a guy that's been a thorn on LeBron's side, not ranked very high on the list, right? Then, of course, he said what he said about Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol, the 2013 Defensive Player of the Year award winner, right? Now, back then, people were saying, that I recall, the only thing that I heard people say was, hey, man, it should have went to Tony Allen, not Marc Gasol. I don't remember people saying it should have went to LeBron James. That's just some shit that he introduced in there. That's just some shit that he introduced in there. And people just run with it. Oh, well, yeah, if you look at this now, if you look at this, Mark was only second team. LeBron was first team. When did you ever see a guy, second team, win Defensive Player of the Year award? Allen Robinson, 1986. He was second team all defense and won the award. And it's been done on another occasion, too. I just can't tell off the top of my head. And he has some personal reasons, I think, to shit on Memphis. Because, LeBron's a hater. He's not a guy that's going to give teams or individuals props. Or if he does, it's only because of media pressure. And in general, he tends to hate on people behind the scenes or, indirectly. But when he was playing in Miami, right, he played 7 games against the Memphis Grizzlies in Miami. In those 7 games, he averaged 23.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists. Those are not quite LeBron-esque numbers. So Tony Allen wasn't lying when he was saying, hey, I made as many defensive teams as he did. I didn't play as long as he did. And my job was to make sure guys didn't get their numbers. Well, he's not lying. he made sure LeBron didn't get his numbers. 23.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists. But more importantly, in those 7 games, Memphis went 4-3 against them. Did you know that? Memphis went 4-3 against the mighty Miami Heat. And I'm pretty sure, based upon these numbers, that LeBron's part of the reason why they lost in those matchups. And we know how salty LeBron gets when a player or somebody gets the best of him. He tends to want to rewrite history and lessen the greatness or prominence of others and prop himself up. Like, Stalin. Like how Joseph Stalin did when he erased the people from history that contributed to where he got. But like I said, Tony Allen was one of those Boston Celtics teams that, made quick work of LeBron. So he don't see LeBron in the same light as some of his, ignorant, naive fans who don't know any better. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.
He is declining at such a slow pace that people are actually sitting around going, is he getting better? Which is impossible, but he's making us imagine that. How could he be having a bad year?
It does raise an eyebrow that he gets better as everyone gets worse. I'll leave it at that.